Alright, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Wesley Tobias. This is my fk8 Civic Type R. And if you've been watching, you have noticed I've been doing a lot of work to this car. I have now got my fuel system stuff in. I'm going to put the XDI fuel pump on, and I'm going to put the PTR, which is the Penguin Racing Flex Fuel Kit. I'm going to try that one. Couldn't beat the price, and I heard it's the same. So we're going to figure it out. Also, I'm going to put the fuel injectors in, 1400cc Bosch fuel injectors. So I'm going to try to do a DIY how and the steps I go to do this right in my garage. So keep an eye out, check it out. Let me know what you think. And here's some of the parts. Okay, so now I took the cover off. I'm about to take the battery terminal off and did the fuel. There's a fuse that's underneath your fuse box that you got to pull. It kills the fuel pump while it's running. It's supposed to take the pressure off the fuel lines and pump and stuff like that. So I already did that. But this is my first time doing this. I've worked on engines before, so I don't know which would be easier to tackle. The pump first, injectors, you know, it's all tied together. So I think I'm gonna start back here in the back. I gotta remove this manifold cover to get to the fuel injectors and lines. Then we'll go ahead and take all that off since it's connected and kind of work myself around back over to the fuel pump. So that's where I'm gonna start. So I'm probably gonna end up removing this out the way, all the stuff I can just to get out the way to make room. So just see how this works out. Okay, I have been working for about an hour and a half just removing all the stuff that I had to get out the way. I mean, it is a lot. There's a lot of fuel lines and vacuum lines. I still haven't even got the manifold yet. So you just gotta keep tackling to make room, because I'm gonna be taking the manifold off to get to the fuel rail, to put the new injectors in, which I still have to come over here and get the fuel pump off and ran, and then put the flex kit on, probably last. And that way I have room to get down there to get to that. I think I gotta tap into my O2 sensor down there. So I'm still chunking at it. As you can see, it's a lot of stuff in the way. Hopefully I'll get somewhere here soon. Okay, I got the manifold out, guys. This is crazy. I've never in my life had to fight so much to get to a fuel rail. There's the fuel rail, as you can see. The manifold is off. Let me tell you what, that was a bee. Okay, so you have to take the throttle body off to get to the manifold, and I unplugged it. There's like some coolant lines and stuff I didn't want to take off, so I just took it off of the manifold itself. You basically, you gotta take all of this stuff out. I mean, it's just too much stuff in the way. All right, so there's that. And here's the manifold. All right, and what really got me was this bracket right here, which I'm about to take off, and I'm not putting it back on. Couldn't get to that bolt. It looked like it started stripping almost. It was hard to get to with that in the way and trying to finagle underneath it. So I tried to put a box wrench in, it wouldn't work either. But yeah, no coolant came out or anything. That's it so far with the manifold. And man, I'm telling you, I've been working, this is like 2.5 hours of work so far, and I have not even got to the fuel rail off yet, or I haven't got the fuel rail off yet, or the fuel pump. But tomorrow I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna take a break because this is a lot. So just, you know, keep your bolts and your parts and stuff that you take off, kind of put them in an area, and I label all my baggies in my containers so I know what goes where. That's just for your knowledge, or if you've never done this before. But anyways, to be continued. See these 4 bolts? You have to take those out, and to get to that you have to move you basically have to move the manifold and try to drop as much as you can to clear some of this piping, because you got all this stuff in the way. It's a lot, it's tight, but it can be done. It's just, you gotta have patience and a little bit of mechanical knowledge. But yeah, there's the bolts, and all the bolts for the manifold are up top, pretty easy to get to once you get all your hoses out the way. There's the fuel rail. Now this, you're going to be taking that fuel rail out, and you can see the screws in there, hopefully. Just like 2 on each side. I'll have to bust off and get that loose so I can pop the injectors out. I got to get this line right here out so I can drill it. Actually, it's this one, I think, right here. It goes all the way around. And then there's the Allen wrench head here. I already took this line off because I had to use it to move the line out. So that's it for right now. If you have any questions or concerns, you can always message me. I'll try to help you. Okay, so you gotta take a 19 and you break this loose right here, this bolt to the fuel line. Alright, I broke it loose, so it should come out. Alright, after I loosened the bolt on the back of the fuel rail, I'll come over here to the fuel pump, high pressure fuel pump. You use the same thing, 19 here, break it loose. I'll put a rag on there to catch any fuel spill. Okay, so I got my ratchet set, as you can see. There's a bolt right there. So you can see it. Right there. And my 10 millimeters on. You gotta break that loose. Alright, I got the fuel rail out of the car, and I got it over here on my vise. So we gotta drill this out 5 64, so make the hole bigger. So that's what we're gonna do. Lubed it up, some shavings, pretty fresh. I'm gonna blow it out with air and clean it before I put it back. Let's see the results. Looks pretty good. Easy job. Alright, so I got the bolts out. I went slowly left to right, and then until it kind of popped up a little bit. I didn't have any pressure behind it. I guess because I already had the lines and everything broken loose. bolts. That looks pretty good in there. So I'm gonna clean that up and install the new one. Alright, so I got the XDI spacer seal, which I got some lube around it. Just make sure it stays in there. I'll take some of this Loctite. Alright, so I just set the XDI pump in there. There's a little rubber seal. You want to make sure it gets within that gasket. Kind of get it in there without pinching it. And then there's a holes up here, and there's two that you can line up with. I'm going to try to line it up just like that. It looks like the stock. Close enough to the stock orientation. And then I'll start adding my lines back. I still got to pull the fuel rail and get the fuel injectors out. Flex fuel. Alright, let's see if I can get down in there. See this, my finger touching. There's a yellow and black clip that you have to move at the back end of the fuel rail. Pull the yellow clip out and pop it off. Now I think I'm gonna have to move this bracket out the way. I'm just gonna pull my. Oh, I got it. There you go. Finally got it. So two pieces. So whoop. And this has to go flat face. So it says once removed, install the collar, then the circle clip. Ensure it's in the right orientation of the injector pipe, and it needs to be flat. The flat side faces towards the injector tip. Like this, the same way it came off. Alright, I got all the fuel injectors, the new clips, and the old factory swapped over, and the little retaining clip. And washer that goes on the end. You have to replace all those, and I'm about to install it back in the car. Alright, so I'm about to do the install of the flex kit now. I got most of it off, but you got to remove, let's see, there's 2 bolts back here. You got to remove that. That's where your new flex kit's going to bolt onto, and use up to this line. There's a line on the little short one on the flex fuel kit that you'll have to tap into this. Alright, so next thing you do is you take these rubber grommets out. Take these metal grommets right here out. Rubber. Pop them out. Fighting one-handed. Alright, and then you'll put it right here. Pop this off. Pop these in. Go on the back. Alright, so I got the 2 bolts back in there. Pop the fuel line in between here. You just have to pull this back a little bit, and it'll pop on here and it'll pop back on there. Make sure you put your clip back in. Alright, and I'm going to run these other wires over here to everything and show you where that goes. So since I've went from a XDI fuel pump install, which it comes with this extra hand fittings, so you can move it out of the way. It's kind of swivels. And the big fuel line, that's where I'm running it to from the flex fuel kit. And that's where it should go, right there. So it's going to be a little different than what they say, unless you got the stock pump. So this is what the XDI pump. Okay, so now I'm at the wiring. So this goes to your O2 sensor up front. And it's right here. So basically you unplug this, your O2 sensor will go into here, and your other one will plug back into that one. So you have the 2. It's like a jumper. One's a male, one's a female, and then there's that bolt right here. I'm going to ground it, this to it. There's a plug right there. Get that plug out from underneath your radiator. Here's your radiator hose, and then plug your PTR plug into that one. Okay, I got everything back together. Man, it's a lot of work, I'm not gonna lie. It's a lot of bumps, scrapes, and bruises and cuts. Blood, sweat, and tears, but that's what we do, and that's why we love our cars and we mod. We're true car enthusiasts. So I'm gonna share what I did. This is the PTR Flex Fuel Kit. Taylor King, he suggested it, and Keefy Tune, fk8 Clinic, which he's gonna be doing my tune. So I got that. I got the injectors, 1400cc fuel injectors put on. I modded the fuel line as you've seen in the video with the XDI pump. And I'm about to start it up here in a little bit just to check and see if I had any fuel leaks. Other than that, man, it's back in. And man, that's a lot of work. It's tight in here, but it's doable. As long as you got a mechanical background or got a little bit of common sense, you can figure it out. So let's see what it does. I'll do a part 2 on the video once I actually get it dynoed and see where we go from there. Thank you for watching. Alright guys, so I just got off the Instagram with Keefe. We had a lot of computer issues with the software and everything, but I finally got his map uploaded and we are running and idling fine now. And all the stuff I checked just to make sure I didn't have any leaks, so put some pressure to it. Everything's dry, so everything I did, the flex fuel kit, the XDI pump, fuel injectors, all that looks good. It's running good. So once I can get with Keefe, we're going to do a tune on it. So I'll do a part 2 video of how much horsepower we get out of these mods. Right now it's pretty much full bolt-on with all the fuel system upgrades. So let's see what I can get. I'm just trying to get into that 400 range. I think I was at 350-ish, 360 wheel horsepower. So let's see what we can get out of it. Again, thank you for checking out my YouTube page. If you like what you see, hit that like button, subscribe. And if you have any questions or need any help, I'm willing to help out the community. So hit me up, send some comments. If you want to see something or ask anything, just let me know. I'll be there to answer. So thank you again. Good night. And one more last thing before I go. Shout out to Taylor King, Performance NC. He's the one that sent me the fuel injectors and XDI fuel pump and told me about the PTR kit and helped me with some questions that I had. So he's a good guy. Get some parts from him, check him out, hit him up too as well. Peace.